What's up, everyone? Mr. NoobTube Gamer, giving you guys another Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 gameplay commentary. Today we're playing Team Deathmatch on Underpass, and in this video we're going to talk about whether or not Modern Warfare 2 is overrated, because a lot of people talk about how Modern Warfare 2 is the greatest Call of Duty of all time, or at least in the top 3. The other games we hear about being the greatest CODs of all time, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, and of course there's also Call of Duty 4 and World at War, the games from the golden age of Call of Duty. Those are the games that you hear about the most, being the greatest games in Call of Duty history. But if we're just talking about Infinity Ward and the Modern Warfare series, MW2 is by far the most appreciated game compared to the other games from Infinity Ward. And I even did a poll a few months ago asking you guys, what's your favorite Modern Warfare game? MW2 got almost 60% of the entire vote. It got more votes than all the other Modern Warfare games combined, which is crazy. That just shows how much devotion and appreciation Modern Warfare 2 has. There is still so much love for this game 12 years later that I'm able to find full lobbies with DLC. And there is so much hype going on right now in the community about a potential MW2 multiplayer remaster, especially after last year when we only got the campaign remaster and not the multiplayer. A lot of people were upset about that, including myself, because who the fuck plays Call of Duty just for single player? Nobody. So that remaster was kind of pointless. But I think if they're ever going to do a multiplayer remaster for Modern Warfare 2, this year's gotta be the year. Because Call of Duty's in a really bad place right now. We just had the two worst games in COD history back-to-back with Modern Warfare 2019 and Black Ops Cold War. Those games are fucking atrocious. And based off the leaks that we've seen so far, the game that we're getting this year, World War II Vanguard, has been experiencing a lot of development issues. It's being rushed and is not even close to being ready yet. So that's not a good sign. Yeah, I have a bad feeling that World War II Vanguard is going to be a total shit show, even worse than Cold War, if such a thing is even possible. But there seems to be a lot more demand in the COD community for a remaster of an older game instead of a brand new game. And it seems like everyone wants that game to be Modern Warfare 2, but there are going to be a lot of people, if they do it, if they do ever give us a Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer remaster, there are so many people that are going to bitch and complain about how unbalanced the game is, all this ridiculous shit in Modern Warfare 2, the Danger Close noob tubes, the one-man army noob tubes, scavenger noob tubes, Commando, Last Stand, and of course, the kill streaks, the chopper gunner, AC-130. Yeah, Modern Warfare 2 was a very interesting game. Some of the balancing decisions that they made back then, even in 2009, was a bit too much. And the gameplay pretty much speaks for itself in that regard. You can see explosions every 5 fucking seconds, and that's with nobody going on a long kill streak. There's no Harrier, there's no AC-130 or chopper gunner. This is Modern Warfare 2 without kill streaks, because everyone kept fucking dying so they couldn't even go on a streak. Just imagine what the game would be like if someone did have an AC-130 or a chopper gunner. It would have been even more ridiculous, but yeah, the way Infinity Ward was thinking about balance in this game was interesting. They thought, if we make everything overpowered, then that creates balance. They made some interesting design choices with Modern Warfare 2. A lot of those choices were very questionable, to say the least. But I wouldn't go as far as to say that Modern Warfare 2 is overrated, because despite how unbalanced and how ridiculous the game can be sometimes, it's still a lot of fun. Especially when you're the one that's going on a long kill streak and you're the one with the AC-130, then yeah, it's really fun. But more important than that, Modern Warfare 2 is a very unique experience that you will not have with any other game, whether it's in Call of Duty or other FPS games. There is nothing quite like Modern Warfare 2. I really can't think of any game that is less balanced and more chaotic than Modern Warfare 2. I can't think of a single one. And that's what keeps me coming back 12 years later. Also because in the 12 years since I've had this game, I never got a tactical nuke once. I never had a nuke, which is very embarrassing to admit, but it's the truth. So, at least for me, that's like my goal. Like, I still have goals in a 12-year-old game, which sounds kind of ridiculous because, you know, it's a really old game. Who cares if I got a nuke or not 12 years later? But that's something that keeps me playing the game after all this time. And I have noticed that I've been improving. The more that I kind of start to learn and understand the broken nature of the game, which, you know, it's really hard to predict when you're gonna get fucking blown off by a noob tube with Danger Close. I mean, that's a really hard thing to just, like, avoid completely, but I'm trying to figure out ways to not die, which is really fun, and it really provides a good challenge to me as a player, because I'm someone that has a 2 KD in almost every Call of Duty game that I've ever played. Black Ops 2, my KD's a 2. Black Ops 1, my KD is a 2. I think World War II, my KD is like a 2.3. But in Modern Warfare 2, my KD is barely above a 1. It's like a 1.05, something like that. So I keep trying to improve my skills in Modern Warfare 2. Unfortunately, it hasn't really been working out too well lately, because last week I did a Modern Warfare 2 live stream, and I was, oh man, I think more than half the games I played, my KD was negative. It was pretty fucking embarrassing. So I still have a long way to go. But I'm going to keep trying because I enjoy playing this game and I enjoy the challenge that it provides me. And it's also a different challenge than what I usually get in another FPS game, where the challenge is to get better at the game and to be more skilled than your opponents. In Modern Warfare 2, the challenge is being better than your opponent at abusing the game. Like, it's completely different than what you come to expect from an FPS game or any online game. And people talk about the specialist in Black Ops 4 being abusive and certain streaks like the Sniper's Nest, and, you know, there's certain ways to abuse other Call of Duty games, but they're nothing compared to Modern Warfare 2. And if you've played MW2 before, you know what I'm talking about. It's just on a whole different level. At least in Black Ops 4, you have to win some gunfights in order to do well in the game. In Modern Warfare 2, I barely use my gun at all. You can see this gameplay, I use my gun very rarely. But that's one reason I don't think Modern Warfare 2 can be considered overrated, because it really is the most unique online FPS experience you could ever have. But even if you still don't appreciate the way that the meta is set up in MW2, you can at least appreciate that for its time, Modern Warfare 2 was one of the most innovative FPS games to ever come out. And I would argue it's the second most important game in the history of Call of Duty. The first most important game is obviously Call of Duty 4, because that's really what put the Call of Duty franchise on the map and really set the foundation of what the Call of Duty experience would become, and it changed the entire FPS genre, not just Call of Duty. So COD 4 is definitely the most impactful game in Call of Duty history, but I would say Modern Warfare 2 was the second most important game, because Modern Warfare 2 is really when Call of Duty started to explode and take on a life of its own, and become a huge part of pop culture, a huge part of gaming culture. And I also can't imagine what Call of Duty or the FPS genre would be like without Modern Warfare 2. Because yeah, Call of Duty 4 was really popular, World at War was also popular, a little bit less popular than COD 4, but still, it did really well, and it was very successful. But it was just Call of Duty 4 with a World War II skin. It was still a great game, but not very innovative. It had all the same balancing as Call of Duty 4 did. But Modern Warfare 2 added so many things to the Call of Duty formula that were very important and made it much better than Call of Duty 4 and World at War. The big thing is definitely host migration. In World at War and Call of Duty 4, if a host rage quit, the whole match ended, but in Modern Warfare 2, for the first time in Call of Duty, you could migrate host in the middle of a session so the whole match doesn't end. MW2 also introduced more weapons that you can have as secondaries. In Call of Duty 4 and World at War, your only secondary option was a pistol, but in MW2 you can have a shotgun secondary, a rocket launcher secondary, a regular pistol, and a machine pistol, so that added a lot of variety to the gameplay. Another thing that made gunfights more interesting in Modern Warfare 2 compared to the previous games was being able to have 2 attachments if you use the blink perk. That also added a lot of variety and made things a lot more interesting, as well as the option to have more than 3 kill streaks. In Call of Duty 4 and World at War, you only had the same 3 streaks every single time, but in MW2 you can actually choose which streaks you want, and there were so many different streaks to choose from. Yeah, MW2 was just a game that had so many new innovations and new features that really enhanced the experience compared to the previous games. I really can't think of a single Call of Duty game that has come out since MW2 that has innovated and had more of an impact than Modern Warfare 2 did. I can't think of a single one. There were a lot of great games that have come out since Modern Warfare 2, like Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, and I would even go as far as to say that those games are better than Modern Warfare 2, but they didn't have as much of an impact as Modern Warfare 2 did. They're great games, but Modern Warfare 2 just brought so much more innovation at the time than any Call of Duty game that has come out since. So no, I don't think that Modern Warfare 2 can be considered to be overrated. Doesn't mean it's a perfect game. There are definitely a lot of flaws with it that can be pointed out, but at the same time, for a game that came out in 2009, it was way ahead of its time. And I don't think Call of Duty would be nearly as big as it is right now if Modern Warfare 2 never came out. It was a really important game. But that pretty much wraps up today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay. I thought it was kind of interesting that it ended on a draw. That doesn't happen very often, so I thought I'd share that with you guys. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think that Modern Warfare 2 is overrated? As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.